Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Virche Epic Lycoris continuing Onko's story. I have to tell you, it's been a week since I played this because I'm a little behind. We all know this because we're back to every other day now, starting today. This is how behind I am. The stuff that goes up this week, I'm just finishing recording, and it's the end of last week. I'm like barely a week ahead at this point. So this is why we had to do this. But is okay. You saw the community post on YouTube. I really should have just waited and not overestimated myself coming back after Christmas. I should have just been like, so through January we'll do and then we would have been fine. But wait. I just don't like going back and forth. I don't like, we were doing every other day for Christmas, and then now we're doing and now we're back to I just don't like flip-flopping like that, because it fucks with you guys. And like, I know you understand, but I just feel bad about it, but not as bad as I would feel if I were forcing myself to try to get 14 hours record, and then even more a week to try to get ahead. So we pacing ourselves. It's okay. But I'm very behind, and I was behind on our other game. So I recorded that for a couple days. I've gotten nothing accomplished this week. And the last time I played this was like literally a week ago. So I have no idea what the fuck happened. I know it's been like, it was yesterday for you. But it's been a week for me between that and this. So I haven't we're Onko and we're with Onko and we're rehashing the first game. Maybe taking a break for a week recording this game was better, because then I'm like, right, we're basically replaying the first game, except for Spinell's here saving the day. So, fair. Anyway, Uncle and I arrived in Coen to see that last night's incident was the talk of the town. I don't remember what last night's incident was. Thankfully, no attention was drawn to me. According to the newspapers, the Revelpois family that governed the island declared Boro as the culprit. This is after we caught Capucine on the beach. What the fuck happened? I really don't remember, guys. Whatever. I'll figure it out. In addition to their pursuit, they also made an announcement to both quell anxiety among the people and assist the royal guard. They prohibited and discouraged the people from investigating the matter on their own. While it was certainly an appropriate course of action to help alleviate anxiety, if what Unko said is true, then what they're telling everyone is wrong. Therefore, there was no telling when Boro would strike or when the mysterious deaths would occur again. Oh, we also have a whistle so we can call our... wait, we went after... That was when we were chasing down Boro and Mathis hit him with the car, but then there was 2 Boros and we know they're Lucas clones and like whatever. Yeah, okay, right. That's what happened, and then she was there and Onko and Adolphe got into it because they always do. That's Onko and Adolphe fought. That's every time they're anywhere near each other. Fair enough. So there was also the matter of the missing prostitutes we had to look into as well. That said, if we conduct our investigations carelessly, the royal guard will most likely take notice. We'll have to be inconspicuous about it. And I forgot she made him a new outfit, which is fabulous. You're right. Luckily, it seems that the rumors surrounding me have subsided a little bit. I'll pretend to go on a walk or be out shopping and listen in on any conversations that might help give us some clues. Unko and I went further into Coen. We encountered chatter on the incidents without much effort, as the topic dominated most conversations throughout the town. I heard there were corpses of both men and women in that alley. It's terrifying. Moreover, it seems there were victims by the hospital run by the Society of Exorcists, too. There were those who were on edge because of recent events. Welcome! We got some new stock in, so come take a look! There were also those who purposefully acted normal to shake off the mood of uneasiness. Or they just don't care. Maybe they're psychopaths and they just don't care. Maybe they've lost their will to give a fuck. You know? You don't know. They're like, people are dying, the world's crumbling, but I still gotta sell these bananas. What the fuck, you know? After completing one lap around the marsh, we felt it was a good time to take a break while also organizing the information we gathered so far. There seems to be a trend where many of Boro's victims are located in cheetahs. On the other hand, the mysterious deaths are occurring all over the island, regardless of the district. In other words, we can assume that Boro's targets are predetermined, while the victims of the mysterious deaths seem to be indiscriminate. I looked toward Anko as if to ask him if I was on the right track. You're very clever. It's impressive you were able to deduce this much, given the little information we have. I mean, I just wish you didn't have the whole thing where you can't tell us so that we could just kind of like, again, not have to. I mean, we're replaying the first game, which is. But, like, at least it's not word for word. They're like, okay, well, you're with Anko figuring it out instead of everybody else type of a thing. But it's. We're still really replaying the first game, and it's like. Is like. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of glad we're only doing every other day now just so I can catch up because the mojo to record Anko's route is really not there just because it's a little. Even now, I'm like, we're 5 minutes in and I'm like, I'm already bored. And I hate that. I don't think. Like, this one has always been like, it gets very heavy, so you need to take breaks and you can't just record 5 hours in a row because it's like, it will mentally break you because it's just, like, it's kind of depressing, and when you're not doing the happy stuff. But, like, with Anko's route, it's like, you want to spend more time with Anko, but why do we have to replay the whole first game? I know we're just paraphrasing most of it, but it's still like, we've done this before. Could we have, I don't know. Like, taking a week off of it to record other stuff, or just being over a weekend, by the way. And then it's like, yeah, no, it didn't help. It didn't help. I hate that for Anko. I just don't think it's fair. Because so many people wanted to have a route with him, and I get what they're trying to do. Like, well, this way you have a lot of time with him. Yeah, but like, you didn't really add much of anything. Like, you're just, we're going through the motions here, and that's just not fun. I don't know. Is it just me? It's just me? I don't know. Anyway. Does this mean you're getting close? Well, there are still pieces that are missing. Your assumption is more or less correct. Because then once we figured everything out, then we're going to have the big battle probably with Dahad and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, we're going to do. So it's like, oh, we still have to go through all the drama. Which they'll probably drag out, If we can use that as a basis for our investigation moving forward, we'll find out what they have in common soon enough. I managed to shed some light on the truth, which Anko verified. I'm happy to hear it. I was worried that our work today would be in vain. But with this, I'm sure we'll be of some help to everyone in the Corps. Regardless, our work was far from done. It seems that there were some victims in the area by the hospital. If we could talk to someone with ties to the facility, that would be perfect, but... Anko opened his mouth as if to respond, but before he could say anything... I'm assuming it's Capucine. Oh, what's this I hear about the hospital? I heard some light footsteps coming from the road further down from us. Oh, no, it's Lucas. Okay, never mind. I was assuming, I'm like, is it going to be Capucine? No. Okay, it was Lucas. All right. Well, at first we said someone with ties to the hospital. I was like thinking of Lucas and Nadia, but I was also like, well, So anyway, Lucas. Well, she said, Lucas! Anyway. It's been a while. I was relieved to hear from Adolphe that he found you safe and sound. Everyone was truly worried about you when you disappeared. Myself included, of course. Were you not... Oh, we did the scene where you guys were chasing Boro, and then we were there, but you didn't know we were there, I guess? Okay, whatever. I forget some of the details because I'm remembering the first game where, like, we all went after... and plan the thing. So it's slightly different in this one, but again, it's like, because you're rehashing the first game, basically. I'm remembering it the way it was initially, not the way we've just done it. So that's it too. You're rehashing the first game. Okay. But instead of like having little scenes with Anko and then being like, and then we figured out this, this, and this, and this, and this, where they kind of just like fill you in with like maybe like a little background, like an overview kind of thing. And they just like, okay, yeah, we figured all this shit out. No, you're basically spending all this time and then they're changing the first game. So, but like, it's not doing its job for me where it's like, I was there. We were there to get, oh, you didn't know I was there. Oh, okay, because it's not the same as the first game, but it's the same as the first game. You know what I mean? So you're not doing your job well redoing the first game because I'm remembering the original stuff when we go, okay, I remember this scene, but it's different in this one. But again, you're just, I don't know. Like just replaying, like we changed it. Yeah, but not enough that it makes it worth redoing. You know what I mean? Again, shit, I'd be so fucking annoyed if I had replayed the first game right before doing this, because I'd be like, I've really done this recently, but I've done it and not like that I'm not getting anything out of doing this aside from, yes, we're spending time with Anko, but like, I feel like they could have just done it better. They could have had more just like scenes with him. Okay, we're talking whatever, and then gloss over some of the other stuff. Like, hey, we talked to these people, we did this, blah blah blah, we figured this out, and then like, fill it in with scenes with Anko where we're doing stuff, and then or instead of no overview, we're just going to walk you through the whole first game. So 24 hours later, we're like, I'm still sitting here playing the first game again, but it's different, but not different enough that it's memorable because I'm still remembering the first one and I'm getting very confused on what's different. But you know what I mean? Like this, I was there, dumbass. And then it's like, oh, you didn't know I was there because I was hiding with Anko. And okay, right. It's different. But like, so like the first game's overshadowing this, so it's just a mess. I don't know. I think poor choice in how they executed this one, to be fair. I still like this game, and I still like Virche overall, but I just feel like rehashing everything in the encore routes was like just a way to fill time, as opposed to like, well, we want to give you new stuff and enhance on the first game. It's like, well, why don't we just redo half of the endings and then just change it a little? Well, but that's, don't love that, but okay. And then this, okay, so but we got you so much content, but it's the same shit. It's the same shit. You might as well have just put a new case on the first game and then told us it was a different one. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, anyway. Myself included, of course. I think I said that. I'm really sorry for worrying you all. I lowered my head and apologized sincerely, and also we kind of don't need these like, no offense, I like Lucas and I like the other characters. We don't need these moments. It's not about them. Like, we're not playing the first game again. Why are we playing the first game again? I hate it. Please raise your head. We're also to blame for not realizing the extent to which you were driven to take such drastic measures. That aside, who might this gentleman be? A new friend, perhaps? Yeah. Although, I gotta be honest, you just need to keep Anko here at his new fit, because that brings me joy and at least it makes it sort of worth it. Oh, yes, Anko is the person who took care of me while I was away. Like, look at how dapper and handsome he looks in this. I love it. I love this. He's been helping me with many things, even now. Anko, this is Lucas. He used to be my teacher. Anko fucking knows. It's a pleasure to meet you. From what I hear, it appears you have given her much support as her teacher. Protecting and guiding my precious student is simply part of my duties. Since you're a friend of hers, I hope we can get along well. The two gave each other a friendly handshake, their long hair swaying with their movements. Seriously, we got both of our long-haired gorgeous bitches over here. Yeah. Going back to what I overheard earlier, I believe you were talking about the hospital run by the Society of Exorcists. Yes, we're actually investigating the string of incidents to Ada Dolphy. which was why we wish to speak to those with ties to the hospital about the mysterious deaths that occurred near there. I explained our situation while leaving out details here and there regarding Anko's identity. While I don't wish for you to become entangled in such dangerous incidents, I'm sure you have your reasons for doing so. There shouldn't be too much risk if you're simply collecting information. Lucas nodded in understanding. If you let me lend a hand as well, I can request approval from the hospital. My younger sister is a patient there. I did hear about your sister from Dr. Capucine, but while we appreciate the offer, is it truly all right for you to help us? Anko's like, yeah, because Anko fucking knows. So, okay, this is kind of funny. I believe the royal family has prohibited any involvement in the incidents. If someone finds out, it would invite needless chaos. Protecting the peace is also related to my sister's safety. While it isn't exactly a condition, per se, I would appreciate it if you could speak to my sister when you do go. Of course. I was thinking that I wanted to meet her myself. Now we're going to meet Nadia. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like, and now we're going to have a whole bunch of scenes with that, and now we're going to add her. It's like, we really are just rehashing the first game. A smile of gratitude formed on Lucas's face. Now, here's the thing. If we were doing this and it had been like 5 years since the first game was released, it'd be more like, oh, okay, we're in. But it hasn't been that long where we need to redo the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, once the arrangements have been made, I'll pay you a visit at Adolphe's house. In the meantime, please wait for me and don't put yourself in danger. He must have heard about what happened in the alley that night from Adolphe. He left right after making his request. He seems like he seems like a fine teacher. He is. He's a kind person who's willing to go out of his way to speak to someone like me. Knowing that he has a sister, I'll have to try my hardest not to get her involved. I feel the same way, but let us stop for today. I'm concerned that those on patrol will grow suspicious if we stay too long. As he spoke, he reached a hand toward me. Unco? When I looked surprised by the gesture, Unco dropped his gaze, seemingly unsure of what came over him. Oh, forgive me. There have been several occasions that we have held hands as of late. I'm afraid it's become a habit. After realizing what he had done, Unco quickly tried to move his hand back, grab his hand. There's no need to pull away. I grabbed onto it before he could do so, and he looked at me in surprise. Princess? I've also begun to feel that holding hands with you is quite normal now. So if you don't mind, I'd like it if we could stay this way for a bit. Of course. Anything you wish. Oh, when he does this, when he's like a little blushy and goofy like this, hiding his face with his... It's kind of adorable. We began to walk through town with a slight awkwardness between us. See, little moments like this is what we need, but then we need like just like an overview, like where they do like, you see Arbishel in the background, and then it's just like, and then we did this, and then this happened, blah, blah, blah. And then they just do like, here's bullet points of kind of what happened to kind of like overview. Over the next couple of days, we did this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. And we don't have to have the needless filler scenes of everybody doing everything where we feel like I've been here for 20 years and we're just replaying the first game. And then give us little scenes like this where we're with him. And maybe some little, oh my god, drama scenes and stuff. But like, kind of the filler of this route should be the moments we spend with Anko. That should be the focus. And then the overarching redoing the main plot should just be like, here's some bullet points. We were investigating this and then we went to the hospital, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I could see maybe having a scene with Nadia because then you're talking to Anko, whatever. But like, but they're not doing that. They're just like, and then the next day, and then the next day. And then we're just adding all these extra scenes that we don't really need and just kind of dragging it out where it's not like thrilling. I don't know. While your hand feels cold, there's also a warmth to it. It calms my nerves. That sounds contradictory. I mean it. I feel that your presence itself is warm, so it's something beyond your regular body temperature. If you keep telling me things that make me happy, I cannot promise that I won't steal you away to Hades. If Adolphe caught wind of that, he'd come running in a real fit of anger. You know what? Oh, look at the way he's looking at us. Uncle smiled kindly in response. That moment had briefly made him feel almost human. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but regardless, the sight warmed my heart. You! How much did you have to scavenge through my house? Oh, hey, and we're also doing this. Not that this bothers me. This I'm okay with. We're flashing back to every fucking, not every CG, but like a lot of the fucking CGs from the main game. That doesn't bother me though. That's like, hey, here's a CG flashback. Okay, that's kind of fun. But you know what I mean? Don't try to palm this off as a new one. Don't put this in Onko's like CGs, because this is from the first game. I'm not stupid. Not only did you make a mess of the shelves and break my mirrors, but you also scribbled in my notebook. Forgot that Onko did that in the last part, right? The hell are you gonna do about this? I had my schedule for the whole damn month in there. It's your fault for leaving them in the midst of someone you do not trust. You should thank me for not touching your money or diary. Why, you... Right before our early dinner that night. Why does Onko's hand look so weird tossed behind him over the chair like that? That looks extremely like... That hurts just looking at it. Adolphe was pounding the table and shouting at Onko, who interested himself in the utensils he was fiddling with. When did you do that, Onko? You were right there when he was going through Adolphe's shit. You were right fucking there! Okay, listen, I know it's been a while for me, but I remember that. I'm sorry, Adolphe. I didn't notice at all, even though we were in the same room. Yes, you did! You were like, don't go through Adolphe's shit, and he was poking through his shit. Maybe she didn't notice he broke stuff or doodled in the notebook, but, like, you knew he was going through Adolphe's shit. Now, dear princess, there's no need to apologize. That's for me to say! You're the damn culprit, so you've got no right! Uncle played with his hair without much regard for the anger being directed at him, only offering a dismissive, yes, yes. It was actually pretty funny to watch the two of them go at it, but... If neither of you has plans to eat, should I just clear the table? No, that was not my... Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this now. I can't wait. Like, I feel like we need to just get to when Adolphe realizes that Onko is himself. It's fun. Do that. The two quickly straightened up in their seats and began to eat the food I prepared. I'll take this. I will put this food away! This is the first time you're eating my food, isn't it? Yes. I have been looking forward to it ever since you mentioned you'd be treating me to your cooking. Now, see, in the original game, I don't know if she said this, but I know in the original game in this, I think it was this scene, I'm assuming he's like, I haven't had this in ages or whatever, and she's like, what, like this stew? And he's, oh, yeah, like that. And he had to cover it, and that was like a right there. See, that was another one of those Adolphe slip-ups. My skills aren't particularly worth boasting about, but I do hope you like it. After taking a quick look at the dishes on the table, Uncle reached for my specialty, a bowl of stew. Adolphe also did so at the same time. It was his favorite, after all. After a momentary silence, Uncle slowly brought the spoonful of stew to his mouth. In the next moment... Look, aww, see, and they also do the same head tilt, like, eye thing. It's just opposite directions, see? I mean, there's just so much shit that they're just mirror versions. I go, well, this is the same pose with the hand up, hand down pose, so it's, like, very mirrored. They changed and tweaked things so it wouldn't be 100% identical, like a complete flip, but it's so fucking similar enough that you know that's what they did. They're like, let's take Adolphe and then let's just like flip him and then let's flip his hand and then we're going to just tweak a few little things and everything. But it's like, come on. As they had a taste of the stew, they both trembled slightly at the same time. Okay, I think I remember this from the first game too. Adolphe had a habit where his body would tremble when eating my stew, which was his favorite dish. That's actually adorable. I'm sure I said that in the first game. But I remember this because it's like, wait. Well, it wasn't a surprise to see him react that way. Why did Unko do the same thing? The event lasted less than a second, so neither of them had realized the other had mirrored their movements exactly. Unless that was it. I thought he said something, I haven't had this in a while, or something like that, but maybe it was just the trembling. It must be a coincidence. Maybe he was just shocked by how human food tastes. Uncle, do you not like it? No. I was simply startled by how delicious it is. It's been hundreds of years since I've tasted food so exquisite. You're just flattering me. But I'm still happy you enjoy it. Thank you very much. After a short delay from Unco's response, Adolphe also began to eat his stew in silence. So it's not just tobacco, but food in general that you enjoy? It's impossible for me to eat much, but I can enjoy a normal meal. All the more if it was prepared by my dear princess. I usually consume those bland, so having something warm to eat is a delightful experience in itself. Is that spelled? Well, do you think Lycoris Noirge would be like? So what is that that's there? Well, whatever. Uh, oh, really? I'm forbidden from saying that as well. I wouldn't think the Lycoris are bland because they seem to have spice. And I don't mean like, ooh, spicy. I mean like poisonous. So like that kind of spice. Having once again been disrupted, Uncle ran his fingers over his throat with frustration. The hell was that? Come to think of it, this is the first time you've heard it, Adolphe. Uncle said that his voice gets interrupted when his messages interfere with the human world. I do my best to explain as simply as possible what happened when we first met. And so you really aren't human. I have said so many times already. I'm also unable to discuss what remains a mystery to the people of this world. But when you were confirming my theories, there weren't any disruptions at all. I believe that if we get closer to the truth, you'll be able to speak normally. What a pain in the ass. Yeah, well, you're both a pain in the ass to the other, so fair. With that, Anko resumed his meal and cleanly finished his remaining stew. We followed suit and quietly finished our meals before they got cold. After washing it down with some water, we began to discuss our next course of action. I'm thinking that the best place to learn about the curse is the Institute. While Cyan, who's the director there, is still looking into creating livers that can withstand the curse. He apparently was looking into the cause of the curse at some point, too. Cyan, he also helped with the plan to capture Boro, didn't he? Yeah, I should be able to get in touch with him based on that alone, but it looks like he's prioritizing the mysterious deaths at the moment, so I'm not sure if he could help. It may be best to search for a different collaborator then. We also have to keep Spinel in mind. I'd like to avoid working with someone who would want to treat her as a test subject. Yeah, I'm sure he'd love to perform all sorts of analyses and autopsies on her. You can only perform one autopsy. I mean, I guess you could perform a long one, but an autopsy is usually like a one and done thing, like, let's do it again. Well, I mean, I guess if you didn't find something the first time, but like, this just sounds more like he's gonna, like, he's using it in the form of experiments. That would just be experiments then. I wonder what kind of person Cyan really is. God, the sexiest kind. Oh, he's batshit insane, and he's devious and slightly evil, but God, is he fine. Well, I wanted to ask. I knew what would follow would derail the conversation. How about asking someone with a strong understanding of the human body? We can discuss the symptoms of the curse with them. Perhaps someone like a doctor, not Capucine. Uncle visibly reacted to my proposal. That's right. We made arrangements with your teacher, so we would put in a request at the hospital for us. Uncle has to know that Capucine is a psycho, though, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. You know what I mean? I guess. And he might not know Jean is the one killing the prostitutes. Because, I mean, like, that was all kind of hit. Like, he knows the secret behind everything, but he might not know the actual people that are behind it. Interesting. Exactly. Well, I haven't forgotten what you and Spinel warned me about. I believe this would also be the perfect chance to ask both the doctors and the patients about the mysterious deaths. And then we're going to have that scene where we talk to Capucine, because didn't we do that the last time too? That's true. If you could look into both of those issues, it would be a huge help to the Corps. The matter of our next steps were settled, and we planned to set off to the hospital whenever Lucas informed us of their approval. After dinner and a short rest, we decided to retire to bed earlier than usual to get plenty of rest for the next day. I did some light cleaning in the empty room. You sleep here, and we'll share the other. Oh, I can't let you do that. I'm fine with sleeping on the floor, so Anko can have... In that case, my dear princess and I will sleep together. While it may be a pain, it's been quite some time since you slept in proper bedding after all. Come here, dear princess. I'll sleep with you again tonight and protect you from your nightmare. I'm surprised Adolphe let him get this fucking far in this, like, the princess and I will sleep together, and then yet he keeps going, and I was like, waiting for it. Okay, here's Adolphe busting in. You know, the anger was rising. You know, he saw black for a minute. Like, everything just zeroed out, and he saw and heard nothing for a hot second, and then all the anger piled up, and now he's about ready to punch Anko. Okay. Get off, freeloader! As soon as Anko tried to coax me into bed with him, Adolphe mercilessly dragged him off. It's just really funny because, like, Anko is, like, because Anko is Adolphe, and Adolphe will become Anko at some point. Well, this version of Adolphe will never become Anko, but, like, it's just funny because you're like, this is a very un-Adolphe thing to do, Anko, which, you know, just goes back to, like, Anko has now become his own person, free of what used to make him Adolphe, but he's still got some Adolphe inside. This just ain't it. Adolphe would never. We'd get married and Adolphe would still be like, I think we need separate bedrooms for a while. We gotta pace ourselves. Like, there's no way I'm allowing that. Also, what do you mean by sleeping with her again? I'll leave that up to your imagination. I do not intend on having her sleep alone while her mind is riddled with anxious thoughts. Look at his fucking sus face. Look at the look on his face. He is purposely trying to rile up fucking Adolphe. I don't remember if this scene was in the... I don't think this scene would have been in the first one because... I mean, Anko may be saying, oh, we can sleep together or whatever, but because we never stayed in the cave with Anko, we went back home and whatever, so... We never really slept together, though. Despite that fact, it seemed that Adolphe had pictured the absolute worst-case scenario. He shifted into a slight battle stance, but... his attempt to land a kick on Anko failed as his target quickly avoided it, because Anko knows all Adolphe's moves. Anko took advantage of the small opening to get back on his feet. Too easy. Do you really intend to punish me with something like that? He kicked the back of Adolphe's knees just enough to get him to kneel, but not fall over completely. You bastard! Okay, I'm just saying, we can just do the overviews of, like, yada, 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 but, like, more scenes like this with Anko fighting Adolphe, because this is funny as shit. And then, like, just gloss over everything else, have scenes with Anko, maybe some scenes with Anko and Adolphe hating each other, because that's funny. Even if it's a repeat, it's just funny. And then just gloss over all the rest of it so we don't have to, like, redo the whole game. You know what I mean? You pretend to be a knight in shining armor, jump to conclusions too quickly, and have a temper. You make a terrible older brother. I can't believe some useless guy who can't even tell us anything remotely helpful has the gall to say that. How dare you! Your barbaric act of grabbing my hair further proves my point that you're unworthy of the princess. Ugh! Sorry. I was trying to get through the thing, but I'm laughing too hard on the inside that it just came out in the middle of my sentence. Oh my god. They're pulling hair and fighting like girl. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Ugh! You're one to talk? Stop pushing against my face like that. I guess she's just standing there with like sad panda face. As I watch their exchange, no, girl, this ain't an exchange, this is a fight. See, I kind of feel like they had a fight in the first game, but I don't fully remember it. But anyway, I don't care if this is a repeat. This is funny. This is worth it. A wide smile formed on my face, and I held my stomach as I laughed out loud. Hey, dear princess. I'm sorry. I couldn't help but laugh. You two are adults, but you're fighting like children. It's especially surprising to see that you had this side to you, Anko. The two men who were tussling about just moments ago loosened up upon hearing my laughter. While this whole situation is utterly vexing, at the very least, I was able to see her adorable smile. I'll leave it at that. That's what I was gonna say. Seeing me laugh so hard that my shoulders shook made them smile. Their awkward expressions seemed somewhat similar. Okay. Again, I don't remember if this part happened in the first game, but like I remember all the other endings we've had in this game so far and that they look similar. They're kind of similar. Like, yes, keep harping on that game. It's fun now. That's funny. Again, I don't need to replay the whole fucking first game, but moments like this are good and I don't mind. And like fighting before, I don't mind repeating some of those. I was unable to hold back another giggle at the sight. While my stomach ached for a while afterward, my laughter eventually subsided and we prepared for bed. Good night, you two. Sweet dreams. Yeah, good night. Wake me up if you need anything. As I bid the two good night as they headed toward the door to the room, Adolphe responded as he usually did. A few seconds later, yeah, good night. Anko responded quietly after a short delay. He spoke with the same kind voice he used when he had taken care of me at his hideout. Just hearing them both say goodnight to me gives me the willpower to keep living. I felt that I was able to sleep peacefully for the first time in a long time. Right, because you're gathering your mana harem. I get it. Listen, I mean, there's really no way to kind of do Anko's route if you were gonna kind of like, well, let's start and have you meet him and then blah, 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 and start from there. There was a better way to do this. There was a better way to do Anko than rehashing the first fucking game. Okay? That if you were gonna rehash it, yes, there's gonna be moments where you have to repeat certain scenes and they're at least trying to change them up a little bit. But again, you're spending too much time on rehashing the first game where it's like, okay, but like, you know, I mean, we have scenes like that, which again, I feel like they did have a little fight like that at some point. A fight seems familiar, but I don't remember if it was exactly the same or whatever. And I know the one with the CG was the same, but, again, or just, I mean, the CG was the same, but like, whatever. Things like that I don't mind, but it does get to the point where it's like, now we're gonna go talk tonight. And then it's like, are we ever gonna actually like solve the mystery? Because like, they could have done it better with, again, little scenes here and there like that. Throw those scenes in there. Do a little overview. Over the next couple of days, we did that. You know what I mean? Instead of like literally redoing. And maybe they're going to do that. Like all of a sudden it's going to be like, here's a bunch of stuff we figured out. And then we'll get into the main dramatic moment or something. Because it's like, otherwise we are going to be here for motherfucking forever. Because we're doing the whole fucking thing again. And it's like, I just don't see the benefit to it. You know what I mean? Again, we have moments that are good. And then it's like, that was fun. Oh, we're back to going back. Okay, okay. You know what I mean? It's like ebb and flow. Like we have moments that are good, but they're not enough to make me satisfied with the fact that we're replaying the whole first fucking game. Like, anyway, the next day, Adolphe had his hands full with the search for Boro as a member of the Corps. While he was busy with the manhunt, Anko and I went to the hospital While he was busy with the manhunt, Anko and I went to the hospital Lucas managed to get us approval for us to visit. That's the most run-on sentence ever. And, like, if you're going to make me replay the whole motherfucking first game, at least don't be stupid like this. Tim, Ronald, you know what? Just get out. Don't even go sit in the corner. I'm mad. Get out. Seriously? While he was busy with the manhunt, Uncle and I went to the hospital. Lucas managed to get approval for us to visit. There should be a period in there. Because that's two separate sentences. There's not even a comma that can fix that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Nadia, but, like... And so, like, having a scene where we meet her again would be better, but because we keep doing the same things over and over, it's like, okay, now we're going to meet Nadia again, and we're going to do... And I'm already like, again, we had a fun moment, but now I'm bored again. Like, I can't help it. And it's poor Nadia. She doesn't deserve that. She deserves all our rapt attention, but if they had done this better, then rehashing the scene, it would have been like, oh, okay, we get to meet Nadia again, you know? They just could have done it better. I would give them like a D for this, to be fair. I feel bad for Anko. He deserves better than just feeling bored. You know? Nice to meet you. My name is Nadia Proust. Thank you for being kind to my brother. There I encountered a cute young girl who looked like a fairy from a storybook. She's adorable, she is. Those were the only words that popped into my mind at first. Listen. You're gonna make me read this whole motherfucking first game again, basically? Yeah, sure, you're like short forming it, but it's still doing the whole motherfucking first game again, which is boring as shit. Okay, whatever. But so help me motherfucking God game, you better not do the same fucking shit to Nadia that you did in the first one. Fuck that! Then I'm gonna give you 0 out of 10. She better fucking get away in this one. 'Cause how dare you? All I'm saying. Right? That's a warning, game. That is a warning. I will come for you. You're already making me annoyed. Don't make me mad. It's already made me mad just thinking about it. She just does not deserve what's coming down the pipe, so she better get away. Okay? We better wrap this whole thing fucking up, peg Capucine to the wall, and Nadia better just stay precious little Nadia, alright? And also maybe have Cyan be bored and decide to figure out what's wrong with her and save her. Okay? There you go. That would be the end. That's what needs to happen. And if that doesn't happen, we will riot, guys. We riot at dawn with pitchforks, torches, everything. Well, not at dawn, because we got to finish playing the game, so we got like a while to go, but whatever. Those were the only words that popped into my mind at first. You look like twins. Oh, while I understand that you're siblings, it's rare to see such striking similarities. I suppose this is another one of the mysteries of genetics. You're definitely correct about it being genetics. We both take after our mother. I'm happy to know that he looks so much like my brother. Of course, Anko I don't think was here with us when we met Nadia the first time, so... Again, slightly different scene. I'd love it if we could all get along, just as you... I'd love it if we could get along, just as you have with my brother. How could we not get along with you? Listen, I don't like children, but, like, Nadia's different. She's an exception. We've adopted her. She's our family now, okay? It doesn't matter if we're gonna fall in love with Lucas or not. She is our family. We will fucking murder Capucine brutally just for the thoughts that go through his head. We know what he's done. So that's why we're going to torture him to death and be happy doing it, okay? But even in this version of the game, right now, he has done nothing to her, but he has had the thoughts, and that's enough. That is enough. We are still going to brutally torture that man, and we're going to have a great time doing it, okay? That's... Get all your torture implements. Come up with your most disgusting, deceitful, horrible ideas on how to torture him. We're going to do them all, okay? We're going to do them all. Anyway, I hope so too. I'm very glad to have made a lovely new friend. I gently squeezed the hand she extended to us. I believe you're also friends with Dr. Capucine? I wouldn't even say frenemies. We only met briefly the other day, but he helped us out a great deal. Oh, look, we're being so naive. I was sure the man himself had mixed feelings regarding what happened, though. He's a very kind doctor who takes very good care of me. Oh, girl, you don't know what's happening. He said he'd join us during your visit to East Spacey, but... I don't see him anywhere. Well, actually... Ugh. We heard a groaning coming from the door that led into the corridor. As both Anko and I looked over, wondering what it could be... Sorry to keep you waiting. You're here to visit Nadia, and you also wish to ask about the incidents around here, correct? The doctor stumbled into the room, his face as white as a sheet. He clung to the wall for support. Wait. Did, Spinel get him drunk? Wait, is he fucking hungover? I forgot about that, didn't she? Wait, didn't she? She was like, don't worry, like... Oh my god! That happened, right? I'm not just making that up? Oh my god. Dr. Capucine? You look absolutely awful. That's what you say to someone. That's real nice, girl. Are you not feeling well? Although, to be fair, it's okay we throw shade at him, but... I'm fine. This is simply a hangover that's overstaying its welcome. A hangover? He drank like a week ago. Dr. Capucine slowly began to explain his situation to us with his hand over his mouth. Day before yesterday! Shit, girl, how about you got alcohol poisoning? You should go to the hospital. The day before yesterday, the woman you were with at the beach, Spinel, dragged me into a bar. She forced me to drink endless amounts of alcohol, and I suppose it still hasn't left my system. I think she poisoned you. Good for her. Spinel did that? We're like, high five. Let's go high five her. And just when I thought we had not heard from her, what is that woman doing? She knows that Capucine is a shady, disgusting bastard, and she was trying to poison him to death with alcohol. You know what? She's earning her keep in this game. She's saving the day. We couldn't manage it. They were like, let's throw this bitch in here because the rest of y'all idiots. You know what? Fair enough. I know I was questioning, like, why is she here? We solved the mystery before. Why are we going to add her? But, you know what? She's doing our job for her. She's going to wrap this game up, so we're not going to be here for 62 hours. Good for her. Let's get her on the trail. Let's get Scooby on the trail. She can do this. Due to circumstances, Dr. Capucine has been in very bad condition for the past 2 days. And because of this, another doctor has been doing the rounds and looking after Nadia. Probably the best thing that could have happened. And to be frank, I'm still extremely unwell. But at the very least, I wanted to stop by while you two were here to visit Nadia. That aside, just what is that woman? I've lived in Coen for a long time, but I've never met anyone as overbearing and unreasonable. Well... We've only just met her ourselves. We do not know much about her life. Anko stepped in to respond to Dr. Capucine's question. We're too stupid to come up with, we just met her. We're like, we just met her too. Yeah, that! I mean, that's the truth. Like, she's so innocent, she can't even be like, not sure, we just met her. We're like, I don't have to tell you that she's drifted here. We just say we just met her. That's the truth. It's not the whole truth. But we didn't have to tell them the whole truth. If you're feeling unwell, I would suggest getting some rest in a separate room. I'm wondering if Anko knows that he's a shady bitch. I don't know. I'll do just that. I'm very sorry, but please ask Lucas and the other doctors regarding your investigation. Ugh. I love the fact that 2 days later, he's still hungover. Like, Jesus Christ! We are unfortunate in that you didn't die. But getting to see you like this and knowing you're in pain. Oh, it's good for my soul. See, things like this, if they're gonna make us repeat the game, do scenes like this, but then again, rehash and be like, and then this, blah, 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 speed it up, but pop in little scenes like this that are funny and entertaining, you know? He pressed his hand against his mouth and flew out of the room at a frightening speed. I hope he's all right. I've heard from Adolphe that hangovers are truly awful. I hope he's in agonizing pain. The next thing I hope is that Spinel implants a uterus in him and he gets horrible wrenching cramps.
Alcohol sounds terrifying. Brother, please take care not to drink too much.
There's nothing for you to worry about, Nadia. I always stop drinking before I have too much. Uncle feels like, are you sure about that? Uncle's hiding shit. Nadia and I resumed our friendly conversation after Capucine left. After some time, she grew tired from talking and fell fast asleep. We took the opportunity to move to a different room and looked over materials regarding the mysterious deaths that occurred nearby and records of those who died from the curse. All of the stuff written about the curse are things we already know. But on the other hand, it seems that we have plenty of information to look through for the mysterious deaths. Certainly, when they found the bodies, several were brought here since they were mistaken as wounded patients. But they were beyond saving, and the Royal Guard quickly arrived to collect the corpses. Shortly afterwards, some guards that were working for Cyan also came by, but they were too late. I may be looking into it too much, but this, combined with the incident in Coen, makes it seem that the Royal Guard is intentionally preventing Cyan from examining the bodies. I don't believe that's a mere coincidence either. But perhaps the very people they work under, the royal family, are involved with these mysterious deaths. We continue to flip through the documents in search of more helpful clues. There seems to be a list of the victims they were able to identify. Anko peered over, his gaze going over the list of names. At a glance, they seem to only be relivers. Also, there's an equal number of men and women. There must be a reason. However, we cannot say for sure yet that regular humans are not getting hurt either. That said, please do take care to prioritize your well-being. If there's anything wrong at all, see a doctor as soon as you can. See, this is like, okay, so I feel like, because we figured out in the first game, right, that the mysterious death, the clawing the heart out, was because of the malfunction of you feel love too many times and then it short circuits your heart and then you die basically and you claw your own heart out, whatever. So that's why it's affecting relivers, and that's why it's an equal number of men and women, because they're couples, you know? But I don't think, I think we had a scene like this where we're looking through the documents, whatever. I thought Capucine was with us that time, but that was because Spinel didn't exist to get him drunk, whatnot. And I thought when we did that, we were at Karun, I thought, with everybody there, and then we kind of figured that out. But it also might have been in another one of the routes. Like, I don't think we figured out every single thing in every single route. They added pieces onto it as we went. But Anko's route overall is every single bit of information over everything that we piece together. Like, okay, instead of branching off with Mathis and finding out about John, and then I think it might have been more in Eve's route where we kind of figured out the couple thing. In Lucas's route, we figured out he was Boro, etc. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're just figuring it all out within the timeline altogether. So, yes, they're slightly reorganizing it, but it's still basically rehashing the first game. Just doing it in a slightly different way. So, again, we were in a different scene getting the same information. And we had to do there were couples or they were in love or something. I think that was a choice. We had a choice at that point. Please do the same, Lucas. If something were to happen to you, Nadia would be devastated. And I remember having this conversation with him. Yes, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. I'm sorry. We resumed reading through the materials after our exchange. By the time we had finished going through them, the sun had already begun to set. We decided to disperse for the time being. After promising to visit Nadia again, Anko left the hospital room first. I noticed Lucas staring intently at me as he saw us off. Lucas, is there something on my face? No, not at all. However, you have a much better expression on your face now compared to before, Spacey. I can feel an immense will to live from you now. I stood there in a daze upon hearing his words. A will to live? Well, it was true I was telling myself that I couldn't die. Now that I had an objective to work toward. Oh, well, it was true I was telling myself that I couldn't die now that I had an objective to work toward. I didn't think that was exactly what Lucas was hinting at. Yes, it appears that you're enjoying life. The expression on your face tells me so. Does it really? I kept my cheeks with both hands, but there was no way to tell just by doing that. Lucas seemed to see right through me. I could tell right away. As for the reason behind this positive change, could it be that Unco is the catalyst that brought this about? Perhaps. You may be right. I've learned to feel so many emotions and found so many things to do ever since meeting him. And thanks to that, I no longer have the time to cry and feel sorry for myself. I felt strangely embarrassed by his question and gave him a vague response. Dear Princess, what are you discussing in here? If you still have business to attend here, I'd be happy to accompany you. We both stared at Unco, who was completely unaware of the conversation we were having before he returned. And then we gave each other a knowing smile. He surely must be fortune incarnate to you. Yes, and thanks to him saving me from the brink of death, I was able to meet Nadia, among other things. Unco's like, the fuck are you talking about me for? Look at how waifishly skinny these bitches are. It's about time for me to leave as well, Nadia. I will return tomorrow, so make sure to get plenty of rest.
I will. Thank you for bringing over such wonderful guests, brother. Both Spacey and her friend were lovelier than you described.
I'm happy to hear that. I've been worried about Spacey for a long time now. But she's grown so strong in such a short amount of time. As her teacher, I'm very proud of her. Actually, I'd go so far as to say that I'd like to emulate her strong determination to live myself.
Brother?
You have nothing to worry about. I have an especially strong body, so I will be able to stay by your side for a long time, Nadia. That better be fucking true. I just thought that as a teacher, I can't lose to my own student. I should stop dreading the end of my lifespan and try to live positively, viewing things from the perspective that I still have plenty of life left in me.
Good. I'd also like to see you smile more, brother. At least in the remainder of the time given to you by God.
Cyan didn't give him any time. Because Cyan is God.
Hey, brother, it tickles.
I'm sorry. I suddenly felt like giving you a hug. Sweet little Nadia, please don't lose your will to live either. Even if I leave this world before you. Well, I mean, I was going to be like, and you will, but with Nadia being sick, you might not, so I pray that you'll try to keep living.
Thank you, brother.
Like, wouldn't it? See, that's a little adorable scene with them. Uh-oh.
If I leave this world before you, it sounds like my brother's already prepared to die. Dear brother, I actually want to be with you for much, much longer.
We'll get there. We're gonna get, that's gotta be the good ending.
I don't want you to leave me behind. I want you to hold my hand when my time comes. If only my brother had more time to live. But why? Is he really so selfish to wish for happiness?
Is this when Dahut pops up? Because wasn't this when Dahut popped up? Anyway, someone is saying, hey, you over there, why are you crying? Yeah, it is! Woo! Okay, listen, I know this is the same scene from the first game or very similar, but I love Dahut and Nadia being besties. Like, you know. Sorry for calling out to you from the window. I'm visiting an acquaintance here. I was just taking a walk in the garden and saw you crying. If you'd like, I'd be happy to lend you an ear. Whoa! Why'd you start crying again before you even got the chance to listen? Here, use my handkerchief. Wait, I can't even give it to you from here. I'll head over right away, so please don't cry. I'll never forgive myself for making a girl decades younger than me sad. I like how he's like decades younger than me. He's like 15. Like, that's so cute though. I know it's like okay, we didn't get the full scene, like at least we don't have to repeat everything. But like again, I don't mind repeating certain things or like seeing new scenes, but like they are kind of I think just like dragging it out where they could have done it a little bit better. You know, where I just feel like we're nowhere near completing Anko's route and it's not like, oh, good, we have more time with Anko. It's more like, well, but we're really just redoing the first game, so we barely have scenes with Anko. You know, I mean, it's not like he's always there, but we don't, it's not like we're having touching scenes or cute scenes. We get them here and there, but then it's like, let's solve the mystery, and then let's do this, and then we went here, and then we did this. And it's like, you could have just summed that up, you know? Like we investigated around the marsh and we didn't find anything, and then blah blah blah, and then you have the scene running into Lucas, and then okay, and then whatever. But it's like, but then they're like investigating, and then they have the scene with her walking around, and then we're hearing people's comfort. We don't need all that. You don't need that. That's filler bullshit. Take that out. Just have the scenes the way they kind of did it here, where it's like, okay, Anko and Adolphe are fighting, and then okay, then we're talking to, you know, Nadia and maybe going over it. And then, like, we looked through the documents and this is what we discovered. You didn't really need to have us and Anko and Lucas reading the You could have just a couple of sentences summed it up, right? And then had us talking to Lucas about Anko, whatever, and then showed the little scene with Nadia and Dalit. You know what I mean? I just feel like they could tighten it up a little and take some of the stuff out that's like, we did it already in the first game. And I know you're just kind of like, surmising it. You just take some of that out and just actually summarize it instead of like, well, we're just gonna reword it, but it's still gonna be, because like we're never gonna get to the end of his route, and like I just we have moments where it's fun, like we have scenes that are fun, but overall it's like, do I feel like this was a good like use of an hour of my time? No, because I'm pretty sure like at least 20 minutes was me complaining about being kind of bored. But like overall, it doesn't make me want like I'm like, oh, I have to record this. It doesn't make me excited to come back and record, and I don't think that's fair to Unko, for him finally getting a route, and I just don't think it's fair for this game overall because in a way I'd almost be like not recommending playing this one, because a majority of it is just redoing the first game on repeat. And it's kind of like, eh. Again, if it had been like 5 years since I played the first one, I probably would be like, oh, okay, right, we did this. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. But it's, even though I don't remember every little detail, I remember it enough that when things happen, like, we did that. Oh, yep, okay, we're still doing that? You know what I mean? Where you're like, it didn't bother me as much in the Encore ones, again, because that was word for word. They literally just took the end and then changed it in a little end spot. You know what I mean? But this, I remember the overview enough that I don't need to redo it in just the Cliff Notes version. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, I feel like it's going to take us forever to get to the end, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I'm really hoping that they'll just all of a sudden be like, bam, here we're just going to surmise a bunch of stuff that happened and then get to a wrap up because, it's just not as good as it should be. And it's kind of disappointing. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.